Hey guys, so what we're going to be looking at today is we're going to make us a hairbrush or two, and so let's get started. I'm going to go up here and get a new document open. Doesn't really matter what it looks like as far as the size goes or anything like that. Then I'm going to, a few ways you can do this really. You go to this lasso tool and we can just make some circles here and kind of fill them in with black if we want to, just like that. Let's zoom into this. Just like that. And if I want, I can just kind of double that. Oh, already messed up if you look over here. This is all in the background. Of course, that's how it rolls. Let me go to a new layer. And let's do this again. Lasso tool. Just going to make a little circle here. A little bit too big. Let's make it about here. We'll fill that in with black. And that's really going to be our starting point right there. I'm going to duplicate this just by clicking on my Alt option, and it brings it like that. And as you can see, it actually makes another layer. And I'm just going to kind of change the size of it a little bit by holding Shift and resizing it. Just like that. And then so you can do it that way. Let me show you another way that we can do this. We can do it with basically a round brush. Not that one. We need one with no texture. So let me see. How's this one? These all have texture. Well, let me just take the texture off. Scattering, shape, dynamics. I'm just taking everything off of what that brush is. And as you can see, it's just going to make a circle. This will be a little bit easier for us. So I'm going to resize it. Resize my brush. Make a dot. Oops. Not like that. Transfer almost seems to be on. Well, let me try a different brush then. Or I can just kind of darken it like that. That'll work too. I know I have my own solid brush right here. See, and that just makes a dot, so we'll just use that one. And I'm just going to make some random sized dots. Just kind of everywhere. Like so. And that's really all we need to do. This is going to make one brush, and I'll show you another brush that you can make for hair as well. And I'll put it right over here. So let's do here, here, and here. We're going to make that its own brush as well. So okay, so now that we have our basically our brushes, we're going to go up here to Edit, define Brush Preset. Oops, might help if I actually selected this. So let's try this again. Select this area, go up to Edit, define Brush Preset, put Hair 1. Okay, then we'll go up here to my window, and we'll look at my brush presets, and click B for brush, and here they are. Here it is actually. And let's go over here to this document and test it out. So here's basically what you have. Just a bunch of dots. So in order to get something that looks more like hair, we're gonna have to go into our brush panel here. Make it a little bit smaller. We don't need something that huge, do we? But now we're going to mess with this over here. So first off, I'm going to do is I'm going to go into where it says brush tip shape, and we'll take down the spacing all the way down to the 1%. And as you can see, it's making the lines that we're looking for. But of course, it's all dark, and we don't want that. So we're going to go into transfer, and now we're getting something more like what we want. Another addition I can do is go to shape dynamics, and it makes the ends, depending on how much I'm pressing on it, go to points, but I don't want it to go down to that point like that. So I'm going to go to minimum diameter, and you'll see it if I move it out and in. It's going to open that up and close it a little bit. So I want it a little bit, but not a lot. Just like so. And there we go. That is pretty much one of our brushes. So just to kind of demonstrate what it might look like now, we just take it, start imagining we're doing the side of some hair, just kind of pulling it down, kind of going in the same direction, but eventually what we want to do is we want to mix it up, make sure we have other hair going kind of different directions. Maybe it comes around here, so maybe we have something a little bit darker. Bring it just like that. Maybe add a little bit more of a highlight, and we can go up and down with our brush size, like so. You can see if you put a lot of time into this, you're going to be able to really make this look like some hair. Of course, this is not going to be the end-all be-all for all hair. You're still going to have to kind of give it that illusion of clumps, things like that. So if I take a different brush, let's go. This is basically a soft round brush, and I'm going to make it more soft. There we go, just like that. And if I do a multiply, then I kind of darken some areas a little bit. It just all depends on, you know, how your character is going to be, but you can see you can darken it if you want to do more of the highlight. Maybe I do an overlay. I can lighten some areas. So those are all little tricks we're not really going to get into. This is really mostly about building that hairbrush. So let's go back to the other brush right here, and I'm going to grab my little marquee tool, click on it here, edit, define brush preset. Let's go hair 2. As you can see, it pops up right over here. B for brush. Click on it, and we'll go back over here. There we go. And it's doing the same thing that our other hairbrush did. So once again, we go over here into our little control box so we can control what we want from the brush. I'm going to do brush tip shape spacing all the way down. It gives us those straight lines like that. We're going to go into shape dynamics, and I'm going to bring that up just a bit so we get that tightness right there at the tips. Then we're going to go into transfer, and then that's going to control how dark and how light we can make it. And then if I want, I can come back right back into here and then do only 3 strands at a time versus all those strands. You might have a little bit more control when you need to do it like that. Once again, you know, pick your highlights, where you want them to show up. Maybe have a few few strands going somewhere else. And with hair, it's just really about taking your time. Like anything else, you just gotta kind of work it until you find something that you feel looks pretty good. You have your darker spots. You'll have your lighter spots. And that's pretty much it. So another thing that we can do with these brushes is using them as more like a fur brush. So I'm gonna take a little tool here, darken it. I'm just gonna move it right in here. What we can do with that is, if we go to our smudge tool, right over here, smudge, but I'm going to grab one of these hair brushes just like this. Then we can go in. I'm just going to pull up on this. Let me see. This is not enough strength, so I'm going to go up here. I'm going to grab a little bit more strength. Let's see what this does. There we go. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to pull up on some of this if I don't like that, and I'd like a little bit more strength. I can come in here, I can pull that. What you'll see is we can almost create a fur texture by coming off the ends, and a lot of it is controlling it with this strength box up at the top. See, it's not as much, it's a little. Let's grab this one here instead. See what this one does. If I want to make the lines come out a lot farther, I can bring it here. And this will even work well if you're doing grass also, if you wanted. If I want to pull that color up here down, I could do that. Obviously it's way too strong, but you can kind of blend it back and forth with your smudge tool. But that's essentially how you can create a little bit of fur, like on the back of an animal. If you don't want to do your straight on hairs like that, and you'd rather just kind of pull it a little bit, this is the brush. You can do it. Beautiful thing about Photoshop, you can do it all sorts of ways. I usually end up doing a combination of a lot of them. So that's about it on the hairbrush slash fur brush. Hope this helps you guys. Subscribe to my channel, and talk to you guys later. Thanks.